Happy belated birthday, Marty.
Thank
How old are
you.
you? 12, 13, 14 now?
I'll go with 25 every time.
Still 25. That's good. That's good. We'll roll with that. We'll roll with that. So what did you end up doing for your birthday?
We so Josh took off the actual birthday, which is Thursday, because he's usually off Fridays and Saturdays, so we just made it a long weekend. Um so when the kids were still in school and everything, we had like a nice brunch and then went shopping because I wanted plants for my birthday, so we went to Lowe's and we got a bunch of vegetable plants and all that stuff because I want to grow my own garden. We'll see. We'll try it.
Okay.
And then we had dinner as a family all together, which I ultimately extremely regret because the kids are just a mess in public places. But
Oh, you took them out?
yes, we all went. It was a great idea.
That's good. That's good.
100% do not recommend.
Well, our kids are very, very young, so they're still in that age grade where, it's kind of hard to control them.
It's bad, yeah. And I mean, we went to a Mexican restaurant. I kind of felt like Mexican food, and we were almost the only people there. There was not that many people there, so that was okay. They just kept spilling water, and it was just so bad. They like reseated us, and then tried to reseat us again because they kept spilling their drinks. Then
Oh, wow.
ultimately, I spilled one too because it was just that.
Yeah, it was that kind of day.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
And
was
then,
fun.
a couple of days later was Mother's Day. What else? Did you
Yeah.
guys do anything for Mother's Day?
Well, Josh did have to go back to work, so I did get breakfast in bed though, which the kids ate, but they thought of it. It's, I feel like this is, and my friend actually wrote about that on Mother's Day on Facebook. She was like, I think this is the perfect representation of being a mother. They bring you that breakfast in bed and then they sit on top of you and they eat it for you and stuff like that,
Good.
because it's
That's
just
good.
kind of, especially when they're that little, but it was nice.
That's
It
good.
was a very
Good.
special, almost all Marty week, so that was nice.
Hey, you've been prepping yourself for this for like a couple of weeks now. Like, hey, this is my season. So that's
Yep,
good. Happy you had fun. Happy you had fun. That's good.
May
Ah,
season. And
yeah.
you're coming up too. Are you aging backwards this year, like
Oh
me?
yeah, yeah, yeah. What's that? And Benjamin Button. So this month, by the end of this month, I'm aging backwards, so that's a good one. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. So
We
yeah.
all hit that moment where we're like, okay, I'm okay. I'm done here. I don't need to go any further.
So yeah, May 28th will be my birthday. So we'll see how that goes. I think Trey just celebrated his a couple of last week too, right?
Yeah,
I think
he's
Trey,
a few days before me, I think. He was
yeah,
May
yeah,
5th, something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Last year his wife did some kind of like a held like a surprise birthday party for him or something at a restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah, that was cool last year, but yeah, she was just like, not this year, big guy.
Not every year. We can't
Not
do that
every
every.
year. All right,
Yeah.
so let's um let's kick
Okay.
it off. Hit it.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Movie Unboxing with Marty and Bola. We are a writer, director, and actor, and an actress, and also a writer. I just finished writing my first short. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And we are getting together every week to unbox a film, talking about what made it tick from a filmmaker's perspective.
And this week's film was Marty's pick, and it was called
Yeah.
Last Breath. It was released
I did
actually.
not know what I was picking. I came unprepared that day.
Good choice, good choice. It was released early this year. I think it was released in limited release in the theaters and stuff like that because the box office wasn't really too big, but it quickly went
Yeah.
into streaming. It seems like that's what a lot of these movies are doing now. It was
It's been
directed by
happening a lot. Yeah.
yeah. It was direct. Well, Sinners is still in the theaters. That's because it's still doing very well. So I think they're gonna keep it
It
there.
was, I was just about to say that. I'm waiting for that to be streamable for me, and it's just
Yeah,
doing
I
well.
I would say I would say probably by before the end of June it will probably be in streaming.
Yeah.
But it's still doing well. So we'll see. This movie, Last Breath, was directed by Alex Parkinson. I couldn't find anything about him. I don't think he's
I don't
traditionally a
know. I
director.
couldn't either.
Yeah,
There's not that much
yeah.
information on.
It stars Woody Harrelson. Also
Woohoo!
legendary Woody Harrelson. You remember him from White Man Can't Jump, from the Hunger Game trilogies and
Mhm.
Natural Born Killers, and the first season of True Detectives. Um, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this guy's name right. Simu Liu. He's a Canadian.
You,
He's
yeah.
a Canadian Asian actor. Um, you, I've seen him in a lot of films. I just can't, or a lot of things. I just can't pinpoint where.
I
But
hope you're not doing what, people are doing, where it's like, I've seen this man before, and really we've just seen another Asian guy.
no, no, I've seen
I
him
know,
some.
hold on, I can tell you because I remember specifically saying the same thing, and then I was like, oh my gosh, that's where I saw him.
Well,
Hold
I know
on.
he's in a Pacific Rim and Arthur
He
the
is
King.
one of the Kens in Barbie.
And Barb, well, I'm not gonna, I
He's
don't watch,
one.
I'm not watching Barbie, so.
That okay, look, you need to be open to anything. That film was actually surprisingly great. And you know what? I was like you. I was like, I'm not watching that crap. I was never even I never even played with Barbies. But then somebody booked a birthday and asked me if I could dress up as Barbie. I was like, okay, I guess I need to know the story. And the movie turned out hysterical. It was actually very, very entertaining.
Please do not suggest this movie.
I'm not gonna do
Please.
that to you. But yes,
Uh,
no, he was one of the Kens. He was actually the Ken that like Ryan Gosling was jealous of. It was very funny.
okay. Please do not suggest this movie. I'm begging you.
No, I actually know what I think I know what I'm gonna suggest next, but
Well,
it's
it's
your
my
turn
turn.
this
It's
week.
my turn, and I've
Yeah.
never thought of what I'm supposed to be suggesting, but I'll figure it out. It also stars Finn Cole. Finn Cole is from Animal Kingdom, the television series. That was kind of successful actually. I think it was on TNT or USA for a long
Yes.
time. And then also Peaky Blinders. So he's in there.
Oh,
Yeah, he's like the
that, yeah.
nephew. The nephew. I've seen like a couple of I've seen like maybe two or three seasons of it. So that's him from that show. And also Cliff Curtis. He's the New Zealand actor. He played the piano, Three Kings, Blow. He was the Mexican guy in Smiley from Training Day with Denzel and the
Oh,
one
oh,
that remember when they were going to shoot the guy, what's the guy, white guy's character's name? When they were going to shoot him, Detective Hoyt in the bathtub, he was on with the shotgun, but then the picture fell out, and that was his niece.
oh,
So this
okay.
is Cliff Curtis. So he's from New Zealand. People don't know, um, that he's one of those actors that he's not a star, but you've seen him in a lot of movies, and he's very
Yeah, a
good
lot
at
of
just
those faces on the ship were familiar to me.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there's also Mayana Buring. I think that's how you pronounce it. My Anna is literally her name, Mayanna. She was in The Witcher, and she was the only woman on the ship, so I had to mention.
And then the other guy in there, the one that actually ran to go fix the thing manually.
He was on the Night's Watch.
Nice watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he
Yes,
was in the
exactly.
Night's Watch. I did
Yeah.
not actually get his name, but then also the diving instructor was Mark Bonner. He apparently, and I thought I recognized his face, but when I looked him
The
up,
Borgias.
he mostly. But he
He was.
mostly does voices for video games, and then that kind of
Oh, really?
I was literally watching it, and all I kept saying is I could listen to this man talk like 24/7. He's
Yeah. He
just
has like a. Is it like a? He's Scottish, right?
that's Scottish. I want to
Yeah.
say that's Scottish, and the
Yeah. It has
accent
like.
is amazing, and it's just like he has this such a soothing flow. It like yeah, I could be listening to it all on
Yeah.
and on. It makes sense. He does like the voices for Assassin's Creed, for all those games, for like I think The Last of Us, like all the video games that were like the most
Oh, okay.
recently.
So this movie is actually based on a true story. It is about this is about these people who are there's some kind of like deep sea divers. When I say deep sea divers, they are really deep sea divers. They really so on they mostly work in the North Pole area, the North Sea. So it's very, very cold, very deep. And their job is really to go fix the oil pipelines. Yes.
See, it took me a bit to understand what they are going for. For some reason, they like kind of mentioned something, but
Yeah.
I
It
don't
wasn't,
have the knowledge, you know? I never
yeah.
thought about that you got to maintain, like there's got to be maintenance done on those, and they're put in the craziest places.
I did not know about that. I didn't even know that the oil pipelines passed under the seabed. Maybe I should have known that. That's just something that you should know because, there are other things that,
Yeah, they had to be put there too. Can you
they have
imagine
to be
how?
put there. Now, when would they put there? How would they put there?
Yeah.
Remember now, I don't know if they still have them, but remember cable lines are there for like, when we used to pass, when you used to do
Mhm.
phones and you have to call international. And remember when they used to do Morse code, when you had to like type, when you had to like in the 1800s, when you had to do like telegrams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those wires have been put there for years. And how far down the sea are they going for these wires to be there?
Well,
Um,
exactly. That was
so but
crazy. So that was crazy to just kind of realize, I guess, that's ignorance is bliss, right? You don't think about
you don't
how
no
hard
nobody
that
thinks
job
about
is
it.
and how
And it's you didn't have to show me that job was dangerous. Just the mere fact that
right.
I found out that that's something you do, I was just like, yeah, who's signing up for this?
It's right. That's people who have to have such a passion for this. Because most people who do a job get home eventually and are just pissed off because the
Hmm.
day sucked, the job sucked. I want to give up. I want to like quit the job. Like everyone has that sometimes,
Hmm.
even with your passion. I mean, I've definitely been on a set before or at an audition before where I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing that again, you know? But the passion kind of brings it back and you don't give up, but at the same time, you have to have like a serious passion for this stuff, and it always makes me wonder how, why, you
Well,
know?
I don't I don't even know if these guys. Well, I was gonna say I don't know if they grow up to want to do this kind of job, but then again, it's no different than when you are a career fisherman. You have to have grown up in that
Yeah.
environment to grow
Yeah.
up to say like, okay, I want to be a fisherman like my daddy or like my uncle because you grew up around that town where
Yeah.
most of the men are fishermen or anything to do with that kind of that profession. So you just grow up and just like, okay, that's what I
Yeah, and
want to
his
do.
character was very, very like he's known Woody Harrelson's character since birth, sounds like,
Yeah,
right? They were,
yeah,
so it probably is that kind of thing. Like
yeah.
they've
Because
all,
this is I think it's this the ship their ship docked in Scotland. So Aberdeen, Scotland, Aberdeenshire, Scotland. So it's kind of like a coastal town. It says very close to the North Sea. So I'm sure everybody there is either a fisherman or, into that kind of profession or something that has to do with the sea because you're
yeah.
literally right by the water. So,
Because in the
m-
beginning, when his wife is really worried that he's being shipped off again, he mentions that don't worry, it's just like going, like as if I was an astronaut going to space. And I was like, so I was thinking they're maybe partially scientists too, even though they're technically plumbers right now. I
yeah,
don't know.
I think what he meant was like,
Or engineers.
I mean, there's probably some kind of engineering going on and stuff like that. Maybe not all of them are engineers. Some might just be like, a welder or something like that. And there are probably different kinds of, professions within that industry. But I know I think what he meant by the astronaut was more like astronauts don't go to space every day. You know what I'm saying? It's not, they might go once, in 10 years and they have to spend maybe 6 months or so.
I thought he was making an analogy because there's no air.
I thought he was, I think he was making an analogy like, I'm going to be going for a long time, for an extended period of time,
But then
and
I'm
then
not going again.
I'm going to go in again for a very, very long time. You know what I'm saying? So it just makes you think like, well, how much do they get paid for this? I know they're not getting millions
I
of
was thinking
dollars.
about that. I was thinking about that while I was watching the film. Like, I wonder how much, I didn't Google it, but I was like, I wonder how much this is worth because you are sticking out your neck, like it's a really life-threatening situation.
I think
There's
they do.
that build-up of sitting in this pressure bubble thing.
Yeah, I think they do get paid good money. It's not boatloads of money, but it's good money. It comes with a lot of health benefits and, with injury benefits and stuff like that. I imagine if you die, you get killed or lost at sea, your wife or family gets some kind of like a decent package or something like that. It will be no different than if you were in the military. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
yeah, that's kind of what the yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of what
so if military, depending on what your rank is and how much training you have, you probably get good money, but it's not a lot of money. But the benefits are okay, are decent, for you to maintain a family and a career and stuff like that. So I think it's almost the same thing. The pressure cooker thing where they're supposed to be locked in this thing, where was that thing? Was that on the boat
yeah, underneath it, I think, right?
underneath it? So why do they need to be on there when they can just be walking around the boat until it's time to go in? Then you can go in. Why did they have to be in there for that long?
Because the pressure, like they were getting used to like the lowered pressure, I think.
Man, that's what I thought. So I
So
was like,
it
they
was
just
like a
have to,
transition period almost.
yeah, they have to get their
Otherwise they
bodies used to it. So it may be like the way astronauts
because it
too,
would
because
drop even more. Yeah.
yeah, so it's kind of like maybe astronauts before you go to space, you probably have to be locked in some place to get your body used to the fact that they're not going to have gravity up there. So get your body ready for that. So you probably have to be in somewhere for a while before you're shot up into space. So I'm guessing it's the same thing. So he's right with his comparison. Um,
Mhm.
my biggest takeaway from the film, because there wasn't a lot to play with. It was more like the film felt like a documentary.
No, but I did Google and I did look up because I wanted to know how and where they were filming it. Because my immediate thoughts, again, as an actress, my immediate thoughts were always like this. I would see someone like jump in the water and dive, and then swim and all that stuff. And I was like, and then, or like swim with like handcuffs on and stuff like that. I was like, I can't do that. I need to learn how to do that, you know?
Well, I'm sure
Like,
it's
and
a
I was
very
like,
controlled
okay, are
environment.
they like extra good swimmers? Are they in that water the whole time? Like, you can't pretend that you're in the water throughout an entire film. Like, they were actually in this very large pool somewhere in Malta, and they had like real professional divers. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Real,
Oh,
okay, it was really silent for a second. I was like, did he freeze forever ago? And I've been
no,
talking
I'm listening. I'm really listening to you.
to you. Um,
I was
So they
really
had like
listening
real
to you.
professional divers there on site the whole time with them underneath, and they were like shooting mostly at nighttime, so it's really dark and really suffocating feeling, and that suffocating feeling was there, I think. Like this whole like the darkness, the loneliness, the water everywhere, because that's what like the claustrophobia that you get with just being, you know, and
That's
they did that very well, and that was
yeah.
interesting how they did that.
That's what I took from the film too, was that how dark it is down there. It's completely another world down there,
Mhm.
and so I don't know if you've seen this documentary. It's James Cameron when he went down to the depths of the ocean.
I didn't see it.
He's such a deep sea enthusiast. So
Hmm.
he invested. It's a documentary that they did. I don't know why I can't find it anymore. They made this little mini sub. It had cameras outside and cameras inside. It was just only him, and he went down. And when I say he went down, I say he went all the way down. It was blue water, blue water, blue water, blue water, and all of a sudden it just went completely black.
Black.
And then the lights came on and stuff like that, and he's looking. I don't think science biologists have seen what he was seeing. Like maybe they've never studied it because I'm seeing. I don't even know if you can call them fish. There was
No, there's even like a part in Finding Nemo about that, where they suddenly go much deeper and there's like the craziest fish with like their little fish
there were
lamps and all that.
he was
It's
seeing. I was
crazy
seeing
stuff.
things that he was seeing, and I'm like, my God, I think he might be one of the only few people that has gone down that deep in the sea.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like I said, it was just completely black. And
Yeah.
I said I thought of a couple of things. What if his oxygen went out and the rope or the cable or whatever it is, the engine that's propelling that thing goes out? He's done. He's
Mhm.
gonna be an artifact
Mhm.
after that. Like we'll just say, oh, James Cameron was a great director. He's missing at sea.
They may never find him
Yeah,
again.
they will
No
not
one
find
goes
it.
down there.
They will
And
not find it.
that's what was so scary about this situation in this film because and he told him, I'm coming back for you, but you
I
got to
need to.
find your way back to this like cage thing. I don't remember what the
So
bell or whatever.
that thing, to me, I'm thinking, because remember when the boat was still going out, you could see into the corner there was like an oil rig.
Hmm.
So was that the oil rig? I don't know if it was the oil
I
rig.
don't know.
It doesn't, maybe not. It could, I don't know what it was, but it was like some kind of like a pole, some kind of a mounted pole down there that, they had to fix the pressure or whatever, turn the pressure off or something. And then he had to climb back up. So to
Hmm.
get on top so that it's easy for them to come get him because if he's still at the bottom, they're not gonna find him.
They will not find him. And then he actually chains himself to that.
Because they were trying to use
Then
the robotic thing to get him out and then they couldn't
I
do
know,
it.
I was so stressed out. I was like, just get him up. And he freaking chained himself to the thing,
You
which
have
was
to, yeah, and
genius on his part because
yeah,
he
that
would
was
have
the best thing for him
otherwise,
to do because he was
yeah,
out. He was out and he
yeah.
was spazzing out. He was still like his body was still like,
Yeah, but
um,
the water moves constantly, so it would have taken him off that thing
oh yeah, he
again
would have gone. And once that water
immediately.
took, he's gone. You will never find him again. And this is not like calm. This is not calm waters. This is a thunderstorm going, and the seas are
Yeah.
rough. By the time, even if you do find his body, you're probably miles away and he's already dead. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't think they would have found him
You
again
probably wouldn't have found
because
him
the
either.
ocean is freaking never ending.
Yeah. And so it was so lonely. It was so dark down there. It's like a completely another world there. And I can't imagine me being lost there, even though I'm standing and I'm looking for where to go, because it probably was like 100 feet, down. So they weren't really like all the way down, but it's still far away to the point that you can get lost and you can just feel he had the red light and you can just still it even exacerbates the fact that he's so lonely out there. What could be out there that could come get him? Because we
And
didn't see any fish.
okay, so that's what I'm wondering right now. There's not a single fish down
No, there's not a single fish. I was wondering, like, there's no fish. I don't see no fish,
there.
no crabs,
That was so
nothing, no
confusing,
life.
right?
I'm like, there's no sharks down there. That's something. So I don't know. Maybe because it's so cold, maybe some animals cannot survive there.
It could be the location, it could be the fact that they're messing with something down there and everything just swam away, but then you would at least have that. I
Would
don't
have
know.
seen that, I don't know. That's something.
Because I
Um,
bet the whole bell coming down, them coming out, all of that made a lot of noise.
but you
No,
had to have
wait.
seen you would have
Oh.
seen something. You would have seen the fishes just swim away or something like
Yeah.
that. But
So
we didn't see any, not one fish, nothing. So that's something to like look into, like,
and
okay,
so while he's there in the pitch black, alone, completely alone in the water, his oxygen is running out.
oh yeah. Well, not even that. Before that, the
So
wire
weird.
that they're lowering, that you roll them with the wire
Yeah.
gets snapped. So now he's panicking, he can't breathe. And the Asian guys tell him like, look at me, turn
Mhm.
on your, the emergency stuff. So he turns it on and he's breathing. And then the
It
guy,
gives you 10 minutes
is like,
only.
you only got 10 minutes. I'm like, you only have 10 minutes of oxygen with the emergency oxygen? I'm like, yeah, that's, and they have to not come back and rescue him. I knew for a fact he was going to run out of oxygen.
Yeah,
And he
well,
did.
that's not enough. So that sounds really, I don't know if that's
Well,
just like,
you have to also understand they're carrying a lot of equipment.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the mere fact that he was even able to climb back up, I think you can say the water will push him up, but that's not that water is deep, that deep, it's very heavy. And all that stuff you've got on is very heavy. And remember now when the Asian guy finally gets down there and
He
rescue
tries to pull him up.
and he's trying to pull him up, he is
Yeah.
finding it hard too, because I'm thinking like, oh,
I'm surprised that he did it.
I'm surprised because I'm thinking Woody Harrelson's character is gonna go in the water and try to get them.
No, I thought what was gonna happen at the end, I was like, just freaking unclip him from that cage, and then they can get him up with the whatever robot hand they were trying to get him out with.
Maybe, but the Asian guy was trying so hard and he was struggling because
Crazy.
he's got
Yeah.
all these equipment and he's got this debt, he's at this point he's a dead weight, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's
Exactly. That's
and
what
that's
I was
heavy and
saying.
that's even
Exactly.
heavier. And then with all the equipment that you have on, and the pressure of the water, that was a
Yeah.
humongous task to be able to get him back up there. And he's already passed out, he's gone, he's not moving or anything like that.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously he's been he has no oxygen's going to his brain anymore because
For
he
like what they said, 29 minutes or
at the
27.
end they told us it was 29 minutes. I think they were alluding to it like maybe a little bit more in the movie, but at the end they said it was 29 minutes, so 30 minutes, and
With
he
no
doesn't
oxygen to the
suffer
brain.
any
Anything.
nothing, no brain
Any.
damage, no physical nothing. And scientists are still wondering, they can't explain how that happened,
No,
like
they're saying they're thinking it's gotta have been like it
the
has to
depth.
have the like combination
But
of
they're
depth
but
and
if you yeah,
pressure and temperature or
but
whatever.
they said also that they're still not sure
Yeah,
because
no, exactly. It's
yeah,
just like
because
I
at the end
guess
of the day, he should be dead. At the very least, he should have some kind of brain
or
damage.
brain damage, yeah.
Exactly, to where maybe he's not functioning properly like a human being.
And then they show his actual wedding toast where he is talking and they prove that he's very obviously completely normal still.
Yeah. And then he goes back down the next day. Or
Thank you. I was so mad when I literally halfway through the film, I was watching this being like, oh my gosh, this man is never going near water again if he survives this. I would never. And then they said 3 weeks later they went back out to finish their job.
and then his teammates are telling him like, well, don't fuck this up this time, man. We don't want to go through this again. I'm like, dude, I'm never going near that thing again. I'm not doing this job.
No, they
I'm
lived like right on the shore too. I would be moving to the city.
I'm like, yeah, we're moving to somewhere else. And but here, I like the moment he and his fiance meet up, and then he tells because she's like, wait a minute, you guys are back too quickly. It's like, oh, there
Yeah.
was an accident, and somebody got lost, and she's like, oh my God, what happened? They're like,
Are
no,
they
nothing.
fine? They're fine
They're
now.
fine now. And then there was a she there was a look on her face, and she's like, oh, it's you. And then he
Yeah.
didn't say anything, but his face was like, yeah, it's me. And
Yeah.
then she just like, oh my God, I almost lost you. And I'm sure she probably told him like, dude, please,
Do
I
not
don't
go
care
back
how.
out there.
Yeah, I'm sure she probably told him. And I know wives do this. I don't care how much they're paying you. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, please, I prefer you alive than the money.
Yes.
Like, please,
Don't
and
kill
I'm sure she must have
yourself.
told him that. Like, please
Mhm.
don't do this anymore. We will be fine. I don't care how much they're paying you. We will be
And
fine.
this moment is why I was saying that he's got to have some sort of passion for this because only with a passion do you go back like that. I
I,
don't
I,
know.
I don't. That's some kind of passion
Near
to
death
do.
experience, freaking coming back to life experience. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that was he literally died. He did die, and he came. Maybe the water kept him alive a little bit. The scientists still can't explain how he was able to
The
survive.
temperature may be right because there's still theories that you could freeze like you freeze your food to last longer.
But
I don't
but a
know.
human body. But remember now, his there's no oxygen going into his brain. If
You
there was
have to
oxygen,
cook it, right?
yeah, it was there's no oxygen going to his brain, so he doesn't suffer any damage. That's what's
Yeah.
baffling me. Like,
So this guy is literally
so he's
some sort of
normal.
anomaly that nobody can
Yeah.
explain.
So don't if you're gonna do that, don't try it because you might not be the one to survive. You're gonna more 9 out of 10 people die.
I mean, I want to say half of the people on the ship have already given up on him.
Yeah.
They went to get a body. They literally, at some point, one of them even said, now it's just body recovery.
Yes, but yeah, body recovery. So if you put him in that situation again, 9 out of 10 times he's dead. Anybody else, 9 out of 10 times they're dead. He's probably the one miracle. And how many miracles do you have in your lifetime for in that kind of situation? You don't want to
Right?
test faith again. So I don't know if this is a lifelong thing. Maybe it's you do it for 10 years and
No, see, Woody Harrelson was talking about in the that they were telling him this is his last mission because he's getting too old for it, and they just won't let him. He wanted to keep going.
Yeah, I think he kept going
Just
because
won't
he
let
went. They both, all three of them went back out again a couple of weeks later after he got married. So I'm guessing he didn't reach. That was not his last go around. He
Oh,
just
I
went
think
one.
I think because they were finishing that mission. So I guess if that particular mission is his last one and they just postponed it by a few weeks because this guy had
Yeah.
to
So
regain his breath.
so like I said, to me the film felt more like a documentary than an actual film. It felt like you were actually watching like what something really happening, because there was just not too much cinematic moment there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It just felt like you were watching a real rescue.
Hmm.
And so the tension was you were really like it's not your
What
traditional.
I was telling you last time when I was suggesting the film, you watch a film like that, you stop breathing because you're like,
Yeah, I did. I stopped breathing for a while, like, because I'm just like, okay, like, dude,
I was
I'm,
stressed
and I'm
out,
picturing,
man.
and I'm picturing myself in that kind of situation. I'm already dead. I'm like, I'm dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna
I don't
start.
think my
I'm just like,
survival instinct is
I'm
that
already.
strong.
I've given up. I'm like, listen, I don't know what
Let
else.
the
I'm
waves take me.
take me. I'm hoping it's a quick drown, quick
And
death.
then one thing that I noticed is at the end, they all leave their capsules or whatever and then leave the ship and just say, okay, bye, okay, bye. And then they feel like nobody's there to be like, holy shit, you survived. Like,
Well,
what?
how often does a situation like that happen?
That's what I'm wondering.
Why is
They
it that
didn't
they
sound
picked?
like this
Why is it? Why
happens
is
all the time.
Yeah, why did you say that they picked his story to be the one they write about it and they make into a movie? I'm
Because
sure
it should be.
something like this happens, maybe not all the time, but every so often that you know that this is a very dangerous job. I mean, how many fishermen are lost at sea going to, remember
Yeah.
what's that Mark Wahlberg movie, The Storm or something like that, and they were all lost at sea. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that happens every so often in these fishing towns. So in this kind of profession, I'm sure something like this happens and,
And I think it does because what's his face is what was it? Sinu
mhm,
Liu's
mhm,
character?
mhm.
Sort of was a really good example for how he was going into it just like
Laser
blinders
focus, yeah.
on military job. Okay, I'm doing this job. That's it. And then at the end, when they were talking about him saving him, he
Mhm.
like almost broke character and then ran to his like bag and found
And
his
pulled
like
out his
family picture for
family
his with
picture.
his
Yeah,
kids and stuff.
yeah,
He
yeah.
almost like shuts it off and tries not to think about the fact that he even has a family while he's out there because anything could distract him and then he could freaking not survive.
I
I
understand. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I would do that if I had a family. I think for something like that, I think I would want to have their picture there, so at least I know, I have something to come back to. So,
Mhm.
yeah, but first of all, I'm not doing this kind of job. There's no amount of money you're paying me. No,
No, I couldn't do it. But
I couldn't do it.
I'm not that strong of a swimmer. I don't think I should be
I'm
doing
not
that.
brave enough to do something. So I'm just wondering, how many women do you think are doing this job?
I mean, it looked like a sausage fest, right? Like there was not a
No,
lot of women
I'm just
there
trying to see like
altogether.
how many women are in this kind of profession. I just in randomly just I haven't done any research. I just say
Mhm.
you probably catch maybe one out of 100, one woman out of 100 men. Maybe if you to
There's
do
a lot
this.
of women in the military, is there?
I mean, there's a lot of women in the military, but how many women in the military are in combat roles?
Hmm.
It's not a
Or
lot.
Marines or whatever.
Yeah, it's not a lot in combat roles. They're mostly um, in logistics and transportation, and they're not. You don't see a lot of them in like forward deployed roles. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you might find some flying a helicopter, an attack helicopter, or a fighter jet. You know what I'm saying? But like as a frontline soldier, I don't even think you have that many.
And again, this sounds like it's some sort of engineering education too, and then it's also a little bit of like there's not that many female plumbers out there either. Like, you know
Well,
what
I
I mean?
mean, there
Or
are
like
female,
mechanics and
yeah,
stuff
there
like
are
that.
female engineers, but
Right.
are they, like there are some engineers that are in that forward deployed role where they're actually there doing the dirty work, or at least supervising people doing the dirty work. Are there women there? More, from what I know is that I know I now there could be some, I don't know, but it can't be that many. And most of those women are probably in like corporate roles.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you probably won't find a lot of women that are at the very least are in
I
supervisory
mean,
roles.
I'm not interested.
Yeah, you won't find them in even in supervisory roles doing the where the dirty work is being done. Like I don't see any woman. I just don't. Maybe there is one or two, or around the world, one that's doing this. I don't see it. To see how dangerous and then
Yeah,
you can say like, well, there are women astronauts. Yeah, there are women astronauts. Is being an astronaut even more? Is it more of a controlled profession than this one? Is it more
I don't
predictable?
know.
I don't know. You know.
That
So
depends on what you do, right? It really does. Like even in space, like if you're just going out there to fix something in the space station, that's a very similar job.
yeah, because what if
I
you're
don't think
The Wire? Remember there was a movie, was it Sandra Bullock, where they were doing the spacewalk and then something happened and then the guy got his wire got cut off and he just floated out into space and that's it. He's gone. He's
that's
dead.
it. Yeah, that's it.
That's
Like
it. He's done. Unless he lands on another planet with aliens and they help him out, but he's gonna be floating forever. He's gonna be floating out there forever. So and he just
Oh
dies.
my gosh. That
Yes.
reminds me of Three Body Problems.
What?
Did you watch Three Body Problem?
Nah. Is that a show?
Yes.
Oh, I've never heard of
It's
it.
very, very good. Very good.
I need to catch it.
But it's gotta have a little bit of like a it has a little bit of like that floating in outer space until eternity.
All right. So,
Forever.
what do you give this movie out of a 10?
Oh my gosh, I hate this part. I don't know. Like me personally, it's not something that I would like sit down and watch again because I'm like, but it was well done. It's just not my category necessarily, so it's hard to rate it properly. I guess I think I'd probably still give it a 6. I've got nothing to it. Like I've got nothing on them. Like there's nothing that I would like, hey, could have done this. I could have put some fish in the water.
Maybe some fish. Maybe a shark lurking somewhere or something like that. Like, oh my God, there's a
There's life
shark.
in that water. There was like there's no
Yeah,
life.
I need to do a
I thought
research.
fish are everywhere, like sincerely.
Maybe they're not everywhere. So I need to do a research on like why they didn't have fish there. Is that real or is that something they have to do in the movie or something like
Did
that?
they just forget?
They just forget like, wait a minute, we forgot to add fish into this thing. Like, can we quickly do it like a AI something and put fish there? So
Like
I don't
what
know.
they do with the Game of Thrones episode where they found the coffee cup and they removed the coffee cup and re-uploaded the
Oh,
episode.
really? Yeah, I heard. Yeah, because when I first saw the scene, I never saw a coffee cup, but people pointed out in the first version, another version, that there was a coffee cup there. Okay, cool, cool, cool. But anyway, why the AD didn't catch that? You know what I'm saying? They need to have Rigo on their set. Rigo would have caught that.
Yes, he would have.
So I give it a 6 also. There wasn't too much to it. It's a movie that I'll probably watch again. I could watch it again.
Yeah.
But
I would have liked for Woody Harrelson to have a little more. I don't know.
something to do.
Yeah, because he's such a strong actor. You know, I don't know. It
Yeah.
was just not, yeah, he could have been
I
could have
wanted to
been
see him do
more.
something too, but I think he's the OG actor here, so he's playing the OG role. Instead of going in the water, he's the one directing them and trying to get them to do things and stuff like that. So maybe that was just the role that they needed him for. But
He did get his like emotional moment at the end where he claims to go back for his pillow just to kind of
yeah,
say goodbye to the whole pressure chamber or whatever because this was supposed to be his last
was
mission and
his
he
last
lost
hurrah.
one of
But
his best friends.
exactly. I give it a 6. There was not much to the story other than It was just a tense moment. It was just done. It was just done. It was done well. It was filmed properly
It
on
was
the
done well. The beginning even, like just him arriving on the ship, we didn't even talk about it. It was very like you already knew something bad and something bad was gonna happen to him. You already knew for some reason, but it was like this regular day, arriving at work, talking to some friends, like setting some wires, and they were like foreshadowing, like they did a close up of just that cable that
Mhm.
ultimately he ripped, he broke, and he almost
Yeah,
died from and
yeah,
stuff like that. So it was and they showing all the machinery. It was well done. It was well
yeah.
done. But yeah, you're right. It was more it was very borderline documentary.
Yeah, it was kind of like a document. That's how I felt about it. But it was real good. I don't think you can give it any. I mean, best case scenario, a seven. I don't think you can give it any more, like more than a seven. Um, then so I give it a six. But it's still a movie that I would want to watch again.
Mhm.
If I had
I would
what
recommend it. Sure.
Oh yeah. So I recommend you watch it. For everyone who's watched it, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. What you guys think about the film. And I do need to do a research on, like, how many women are doing this kind of job.
How
Um,
many fish swim in that area?
yeah, how many? And also, would are there no fishes around that area in the North Sea? Because I would have thought there would have been some, there was just no fish there. It felt odd to me. I was like, and also the fact that there wasn't any fish there also add to how eerie it was because it was so dark, and
Yeah,
you felt so
so
lonely.
that
What,
that might have been a choice.
from the filmmaker?
Yeah, but it feels weird to me because it almost makes you question that this was a wild space, like a wild, open, untamed space, like the
Face.
ocean is. You know
Well,
what
there
I mean?
should there should be something there. I'm thinking maybe it added to the fact that he was so lonely that there's not even any kind of life form out there. But at the same time, because it was so dark, that something could pop out. But obviously, you start to realize that that's not that kind of movie. Nothing was gonna pop out. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? It wasn't that kind of movie. So I don't know. I would like to do the research and see, those two reasons. How many women are in this kind of line of work and why there wasn't any fish around that area, if that's true. So that's something else. So anyway, that's our episode today. Last breath. Please let me know what you guys think. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and share the link with anyone. If you've seen the movie, let's know what you think and what you think about our assessment of the film. And for next week,
What do you suggest?
uh, let's watch. It's on Peacock. It's called Black Bag.
Black bag, like
Black
just as a
Bag. I think it's a
word?
spy thriller.
Okay.
Michael Fassbender. Let me see. Yeah, Michael
Watch
Fassbender.
that baby girl or whatever?
What? Baby
Baby
girl?
girl.
I
Watch
already
it.
seen that. I've seen that.
I know you were saying that you were about to watch it the other day, so I was
Yeah.
wondering.
You wanna do that one?
No, 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 this is your suggestion. Let's do it. I haven't seen either one, so it doesn't matter to me.
Let's do this. Let's do Black Bag. I haven't seen this one. This is directed by Steven Soderbergh, Kate Blanchett, Michael Fassbender, Marissa Abela, Tom Burke, Naomi Harris, Reggie Jean Page, and Pierce Brosnan. Oh,
Ooh.
so we're watching Black Bag.
All
It's a
right.
spy thriller. It's on Peacock. This should be interesting. Okay, so that's the episode for today. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave comments, share
Send
the link,
suggestions.
and suggestions. One of these days, we're gonna start inviting you guys to join us in unboxing. So, you know, get ready. See you next week. Bye.